Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to today's webinar. My name is Manuel Gea. I'm responsible for communications at Optare Solutions and I'm very happy to be moderating today's session where we are going to be diving deep into one of the most critical topics for telco operators, service assurance in the very complex world of fiber to the home, wholesale fiber to the home to be exact. We'll explore industry-wide challenges, introduce a powerful framework for achieving total control, and then see it in action with a fascinating success story together with our dear partner Onivia. A quick note before we begin, this session is being recorded and you will receive the video file as well as the full Onivia case study via email afterwards. Starting from now also, please feel free to submit your questions at any time using the Q&A tab that you can see below and we'll tackle them at the dedicated Q&A session at the end. But before we get started, let's introduce today's expert panel from Optare Solutions. We have Luis Alves, Business Development Director, and Vítor Fernández, Senior Software Architect. Hello, Luis, Vítor.
Hello, Manu, and everyone.
And also representing our valued partner Onivia, we are honored to have Isabel Enríquez, Chief Information Officer, and Juan Hernández, Head of Operations. Thank you all for being here with us.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, thank you.
And to set the stage, let's hand it over to Luis Alves, who will outline the core challenges that wholesale operators are facing today. Luis, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Manuel, for the introduction, and thanks to our attendees and also to our partners from Onivia to join us for this session. Today, as Manuel explained, we are talking about service assurance, and to be honest, the shift to wholesale FTTH layer business has been revolutionary in the last years, but it has also introduced what we call a shared chaos, especially when we talk about service assurance. In traditional vertical integrated models, the companies had access to all the needed data and controlled everything from customer data to network information. Service assurance processes were simpler, but today we live into a multi-stakeholder ecosystem. Netcos provide the infrastructure and access, meanwhile multiple ISPs use it to serve their end customers. This creates significant challenges. Let's talk about some of them. First of all, operational fragmentation. The key question is who is responsible when something goes wrong on the services? I'm sure it's clear on the agreements, but usually tickets can bounce between the netcos and ISP clients, leading to slow resolution times and frustrated final customers. The loss of end-to-end visibility. Nowadays, ISP clients don't have access to the network's real-time status, making it very difficult to quickly diagnose the problems. Data and processes misalignments. The lack of standardized data about the infrastructure leads to installation failures and customer frustration from day one. And finally, SLA complexity. Measuring and enforcing service-level agreements in a multi-stakeholder environment is a constant battle. This is not just a technical problem. It directly impacts the business. And talking about the business, let's review some business impact. The operational issues I've just explained have a direct and measurable impact on the 4 pillars of business strategy, which we call the ICTQ framework. Income that suffers due to customer churn, beginning with final customers, but also impacting ISP client relationships. The cost that increases from inefficiencies. Based on FTTH Council Europe, the operational budgets goes up to 40% that can be spent on resolving avoidable incidents. Time to market for onboarding new SPs usually is low if developments for integrations are complex, delaying new revenue streams. And finally, quality, cornerstone of the customer experience for both ISPs and wholesalers that is eroded, damaging the brand and future business. The fundamental question here is, how do you move from this shared chaos to total control? I hope we find out today. Back to you, Manuel.
Thank you, Luis. That's certainly a very clear picture of the problem. And now let's talk about the solution. Vítor Fernández, as an architect, how can we build our way out of this chaotic landscape that Luis described into a more coordinated one?
Thanks, Manu. So from the beginning, our mindset was very clear. We didn't want to build just another ticketing system. Instead, we focused on proactive and contextual service assurance, what we call the 360 vision of the ticket. That means when an incident happens, all the relevant information is gathered automatically and shown in one single place. I mean, customer data, service data, maybe the full history of previous issues, information from network monitoring tools, and also the service level agreement details like the response time or service windows are also important. And this way, support teams don't have to jump between 5, 6, or whatever number of systems. They get the full picture right away. And that change from fragmented information silos and reactive processes to unified view, a real-time view, was our final objective and the best way to implement a scalable and efficient platform. So if you can move to the next slide, maybe you are wondering how do we make this possible in practice? Okay, as a technical, I think it's about combining flexibility, automation, and integration, and doing it all in line with industry standards. Okay. First, we needed a flexible platform, and Jira from Atlassian gave us that. We adapted it to support our wholesale specific workflows and also some internal processes of the company. Then standardized APIs were the key to enrich information properly. So the platform could talk to all other systems, for example, service inventory, customer data, network monitoring, everything. And that's where the TM Forum, ODA, Open Digital Architecture, and Open APIs really help us. The next point, the automation engine, which is the core. It enriches the tickets automatically, and even in some cases, creates them before anyone calls. Later in the presentation, we are taking a closer look into this proactive feature. And last, the SLA engine had to handle all the complexity. Different rules, different working hours, the stop clock logic, and the SLAs in this way are measured in a fair and transparent manner. When you bring all this together, service assurance is no longer just a support system. I think it becomes a strategic asset. Okay. Thank you, Manu.
Thank you, Vítor. That is the perfect foundation for our main event. We've seen the problem and now also the theoretical solution. Now it's turn to see what it looks like in practice. I'm delighted to bring into the conversation Isabel Enríquez and Juan Hernández from Onivia. Isabel, to set the scene, could you please tell us about Onivia and describe the strategic position that the company was in when the project began?
Okay. Hello. Thank you very much to everybody. So who is Onivia? No? Onivia is a largest neutral FTTH operator in Spain and has become now the third largest fiber network in this country. So just only in 5 years. So very good news for us. We have a 10 million footprint. You can see the KPIs in the slides. 1,400 municipalities. Yeah. So yes, really good growth. Onivia has demonstrated strong performance, higher growth, a very big or different customer base because we include Tier 1, Telefónica, Vodafone, and so on, and of course regional or challenge ISP. So very different and diverse customer base. Yeah. So just in summary, we completed the telecom landscape here in Spain, and we have a clear focus on expanding coverage in rural areas. Yeah. So we have the focus in extend the digital competition and the innovation. Yeah. And talking about specifically IT or IT strategy, Manuel, yes. Next slide, yeah. What we're talking about the strategy of IT. Yeah? When Onivia was founded, we had an unique opportunity, yeah, because Onivia had not a legacy system, yeah, for IT people. No, had legacy is a privilege, yeah. It's a very good news, yeah. So we could to design our entire IT and operational architecture and environment from the scratch. Yeah, the main objective of this strategy was not only just an IT ecosystem or something like this. We want to build a foundation that was agile, scalable, and profitable from the beginning. Yeah, from the day one. Yeah. And at the same time, we know the market. The Spanish market was very dynamic. We need a service assurance model that could support a fast onboarding of new customer, and at the same time, a future service diversification, and at the same time, while maintain, of course, the higher quality or higher standards that we have and B2B. Yeah. Talking about the operational vision, Juanjo give us more details in next slides. Yeah.
Thank you, Isabel, and thanks all for attendance. On this case, we are going to be how we transform this strategic vision on requirements for our team. And in this case, our focus was on the operational hub. To deliver on the company's strategic promise, the team needed to be empowered but not overwhelmed. A manual approach was never an option. We envisioned an operation where we could manage incidents efficiently without spending hours searching for information, also onboard new ISPs smoothly without creating operational bottlenecks. It's very important this case because IT cannot be a stopper on the onboarding of new ISPs, and also proactively monitor service quality to build trust with our partners. We needed a system that would give us complete visibility and control, automating the repetitive tasks so my team could focus on what truly matters, resolving issues and ensuring a great service experience for our clients.
Thank you, Isabel, Juanjo. So the vision was clear from both a strategic and an operational level. Vítor, please tell us how the solution addressed these specific requirements.
Absolutely, Manu. From day one, we worked closely with Juanjo, with Isabel, with Onivia's teams to bring this framework to life. Jira was the chosen tool because of its flexibility. You know that there are many tools on the market, Jira or ServiceNow, or BMC, but all they are very similar between them. But we chose Jira because it's flexible and it's agile and it's quite expanded in the market. Okay, so but the real value is not on the tool, in my opinion. I think the real value came from the layers we built on top of the tool. For example, first, we implemented the automatic enrichment. When an ISP opens a ticket, the system will pull everything: the inventory information, network information, topology, customer history, into a single view. Remember the 360 vision, okay? Then the proactive detection. By integrating with these monitoring network tools, the system could create tickets automatically if something failed, even before the users are aware of the incidents. For example, let me talk you about a specific example. Imagine that your network monitoring tool receives or sends you an alarm showing that a GPON port has gone offline, has broken. In this case, our tool, the service assurance system, triggers a flow. The first step is to create a root incident on top of all, and then we get all the dependent service from the broken GPON port querying, for example, the inventory API. If you are using TMF APIs, you are compatible with many inventory systems. The next step from get the service information and get who or which ISPs are impacted. Then you can notify every ISP proactively that there is an ongoing incident in our infrastructure, okay? And even with a list of services included. And you can link all these single incidents with the root incidents. And from here, the system is able to keep in sync the root and the child incidences, okay? Keeping informed the ISPs at every moment. And I think this is important for our customer experience. And last, we build a powerful SLA engine with the stop clock logic, and it's critical in a wholesale model. For example, Juanjo can tell you a lot of business logic or a lot of cases where SLA is important to measure, okay? And I think that with all of this in place, service assurance is no longer a must-have system that adds no value to the business. I think this way, implementing the service assurance in this manner, this system became a real differentiator for Onivia in this case. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Vítor. So the solution sounds perfectly tailored to the needs that both teams had at hand. And let's now talk about the results. Isabel, Juanjo, from both the strategic and the operational standpoint, what were the key benefits and the KPIs that demonstrated the project's success?
Okay, in our opinion, the results of the project were perfectly aligned with our strategy and the objectives that we have. In the slide, you can see the main KPIs. Yeah? Firstly, the time to market was absolutely exceptional, because at the beginning we have only a technical project implementation, but we have a project in 6 months. Yeah? So in 6 months we have a technical planning to an operational implementation. So very, very good, because this was very, very critical for our business. Secondly, talking about efficiency in the process, some process that was very efficient for us was very key. One of them is the onboarding, as mentioned before, was very, very key, and we have one onboarding of 30 minutes. So it's pretty agile and it's very key for advantage, competitive for our customer and our salespeople. Yeah, I think it's a sale tool, in my opinion. This kind of things, it's a sale tool. Yeah. Third, the scalability, solid foundation to grow in volume and to grow in complexity, in products, in capacity, in different things. So very, very key for us at the same time. Yeah. And for talking about assurance, Juanjo give us more details. Yeah. Juanjo.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay, thank you, Isabel. On this side, on the operational side, the benefits were just as tangible. The 360 vision of the ticket had a direct impact on our team's productivity. By automating information gathering, we could handle a growing volume of incidents more efficiently, optimizing our staffing needs. It's very important in this case we can focus, our team can focus on what really matters on this case. We don't spend a lot of time jumping on different tools to retrieve the client information. We have all the information that we need to handle this ticket on one tool, and this is very important for us. This directly led to an improved mean time to resolution. With enriched information and proactive alert, my team could diagnose and solve problems much faster, which is the most critical factor for our partner satisfaction. And finally, the platform gave us objective SLA compliance tools. The ability to accurately measure performance, including the stop the clock function, allows us to manage our commitments to customers and suppliers with full transparency and control. In this tool, we can configure different SLAs for a lot of different situations, different ticket types, different ISPs, different network providers. It's very agile for us, and we can also have different SLAs for our different support teams, level 1, level 2, level 3. And for us, this is very, very important, and it has transformed how we manage our service quality.
Great, thank you, Isabel, Juanjo, and Vítor, for sharing all these insights into the project. And now, Luis Alves, back to you. Based on the Onivia case study and all of our wider market experience, what would you say are the key takeaways for other operators that may be watching today?
Thanks, Manuel, and also thanks, Isabel, Juanjo, and Vítor for your very crystal clear and amazing explanation. Based on Onivia's and other experiences, we think there are 3 critical lessons that we can learn for the future. First of all, and I think it's the most important one, is that processes must come before technology. Over the years, we've seen important failures due to excessive focus on technology only and not reviewing the processes before starting with the technology. Onivia's success started with co-defining their ideal operation workflows, and that helped to the success of the project. For the future, I think that look for joint forces between your teams and the integrator or vendor, and allowing them to focus on processes before jumping into deployments, it should be a must. Second, automation is not longer a luxury, it's a need, and I think we all can agree on that. To be profitable and scalable in the wholesale market, you cannot rely everything on manual processes. And finally, achieving a 360 view vision of the ticket is not just an operational improvement, it's a powerful strategic differentiator that directly impacts your income, your cost, time to market, and quality. From our point of view, is the key for moving from chaos to control. And that's the key learnings. I would like to end this session with a really quick introduction about Optare Solutions for those ones that don't know about our company. We are a consulting and engineering services company exclusively focused in telecoms with more than 23 years of experience. We have presence in Europe, in Spain, Portugal, Poland, but also we are about to expand our presence to other European Union countries. And also since 12 years ago, we have presence in America with a strong team based in Mexico. Our focus is to apply our deep knowledge on telecoms and also on FTTH to partner with our customers, helping them to become more competitive and profitable. So if you're looking to improve your OSS processes, platforms, or maybe your service assurance platforms, we'll be happy to engage with you and your team to have specific conversations and help you from the technology point of view to make your company grow. And that's all on my side, Manuel, back to you.
Thank you, Luis, and also, of course, a huge thank you to all of our panelists. We now have a few minutes for questions. We've been receiving several, but you can continue sending them in the Q&A tab below, and hopefully we get them in time. And if not, of course, you can always reach out at the contact information that you see on screen. So let's not waste any time. Let's dive in and go for the first question. One of the attendees asks, can the system trigger actions based on specific incidents? Can the system trigger actions based on specific incidents? Vítor, maybe you can go for this one.
Yeah, I think this is one for me.
Mhm.
Talking about integrations, yes, as I told before, Jira is very flexible, and one of the best features that Jira has, I think it's the integration capabilities. For example, in certain workflows, if you have to integrate with a third-party system, you can define in which part of the flow you can trigger an action, call an API, or, for example, escalating the ticket to a provider. Okay, in this sense, Jira is very flexible. You can imagine even in a transition, sending an email or little things that, and one important thing I think is that in many cases, Onivia does not need Optare help to integrate with external systems. Even Juanjo is able to configure some things in Jira. The platform is quite agile, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Vítor. The next question we have here is, what makes the 360 vision of the ticket approach different from a regular ticketing tool? Vítor, Luis,
I can continue.
Okay.
A standard ticketing system is, we can think about a system, a place just to record incidents. And I think our approach turns these systems of records into a decision-making system or a decision-making hub, if you can call it. We automatically enrich the ticket with all the relevant data from different systems, so you have not to connect to different interfaces or call different teams. So agents can resolve incidents in a faster way and more accurately.
Very nice. I think this next question is more focused on you, Isabel, and Juanjo. The question is, what feedback have Onivia's ISP partners given on the new system?
Okay, very, very positive. I think, I think they consider that is very clear communication, very fast response. So it means very, what is the word? Very predictable system. I think this is a good word, yeah? Very trust. So I think it help to our customers in all of the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. The next question is, will AI or machine learning play a role in future versions of the platform?
I think the answer is absolutely. Okay, we are already exploring AI driving root case analysis, anomaly detection, triage of incidents, and also the typical next best actions. Okay, imagine you can the system is only you can manage the actual incidents. You can predict the behavior of new incidents, and also you can infer solutions. Okay, we are working on it.
Nice. The next question we have is the platform integrated with the administrative part of the company or only focused on the operation?
Okay, maybe I can give you an answer also. With the administrative part, if you mean that is integrated with the identity manager, the tool, in this case Jira, and the most of tools are integrated with this. Your user, your company user is centralized in this identity manager, and you can use it in Jira. If you mean, for example, if your internal processes, you can also handle them in Jira. Certainly in Onivia, for example, we're not only managing FTTH incidents.
Yeah.
Isabel, Juanjo, would you like to add anything there?
Juanjo, for you? But the answer is clear, I think. Yeah.
No, sorry, Isabel. Go for it.
No. I think it's the explanation of Vítor is very clear. So no comments. I think just this is correct. Everything.
Okay, nice. I think this next one may be for you anyway. So the next question is, you talked a lot of SLAs. Are traditional SLA models fit for purpose in today's wholesale environment?
Okay, now this one's for me, I think. Not really. Traditional SLAs assume a single operation environment, single operator. In a wholesale setup, SLA enforcement becomes complex. You have to account for dependencies like when an ISP is waiting on the network. That's why features like stop the clock are essential. They make SLA tracking more fair and transparent in this case.
Nice. The next question we have is, can the tool manage or integrate the company's assets, or does it only manage tickets?
Well, for example, I was thinking on Jira, and Jira has the product, the Jira Service Management, JSM typically, and JSM includes the assets functionality, a module where you can see your assets, but regarding, or in my opinion, it's good to have the separated systems. One system, in this case, implemented with Jira, which manage the tickets or the service assurance, and we have separated systems for the assets, and I mean services or network assets, the network topology. In talking about FTTH, we're talking about OLTs, the cards, GPON ports, and the splitter boxes and so on. So I prefer following the TMF architecture, the standard architecture and the industry standards, to have different systems managing these different responsibilities. Okay, and if you have, as I said before, if your inventory exposes an open API, which is a standard of the TM forum, then you can switch. Okay, now you are using, for example, the one specific tool for inventory, and tomorrow or whenever you can use another tool. Okay, so the quick question is, we prefer to separate things, to separate responsibilities, and in this case, that's the way that we have implemented.
Nice. Well, continuing on this topic, we've been talking about the platform. One of the attendees asks, why Jira? What advantages did it offer as a foundation?
Okay, I think this is mine also. One clarification, this is not sponsored by Jira, but I think that Jira gave us a flexible, is a mature platform. If you've seen, for example, Gartner reports, and you know these different quadrants where the tools are classified and evaluated, Gartner, the opinion of Gartner is that ticketing tools are just kind of commodity, all have the same functionalities. You can assign a ticket to an user, you can put comments. These are basic features, but what's the difference between these different kind of tools or different tools? I think there are things like the agility, the integration, for example, with DevOps tools, the time to market. Okay, for example, in my opinion, Jira is a service as a service tool, as a tool, as a platform, and we are configuring Jira very, very quickly, and you can start using it from the minute one. I think this flexibility, the maturity, I think many people knows how Jira works, and it's the learning curve is, I think it's quite smooth, widely adopted, has many integrations out of the box, and we're happy with it.
Nice. Well, we are running out of time, but I think we still have a couple minutes for one last question. And again, of course, if we haven't reached yours or you have maybe a new one that you think about after we wrap up, you can always contact us at the information that you see on screen. But the last question we have for today is, can the platform generate executive level dashboards for service performance?
I think absolutely is the answer. Jira out of the box, you can configure different dashboards and reports. Okay, maybe from C-level, like Isabel can use regarding for example, to review the service level agreements, KPIs, and also for Juanjo's team. So, for example, incidents heat maps, summaries, how many incidents were resolved last month, and this kind of things. And as I said before, also, this Onivia is not calling Optare, hey, I need a new report. I think they can manage themselves is one of the things that I appreciate most. We want to work as Optare, we want to engage with our customers in more innovative projects, not in tasks like create a new report or add a new field to my ticket or whatever task that adds no many value to the business. Okay.
Thank you, Vítor. And as I said, with this question, this is all the time we have for today. But before we wrap everything up, I want to give a massive thank you to Isabel, Enríquez, and Juan Hernández from Onivia, as well as to Luis Alves and Vítor Fernández from Optare Solutions for sharing their expertise and their journey with this project. Thank you so much, guys, for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you to all the attendees.
And
Bye-bye.
thank you, of
Thank
course,
you.
thank you to our audience for joining us. As I said in the beginning, keep an eye on your inbox for the recording and the full case study, and we hope to see you at our next webinar. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.